Wage a war against mediocrity, it ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war. We wage a war against mediocrity, it ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war. We wage a war against mediocrity, it ain't no friend to me.
It ain't no friend of me. We are waging war on mediocrity. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, bringing you again another Motivational Monday. And I am on 10 today, and I hope y'all are too. I'm starting to see eyes out there. Y'all holler at your boy. For all my replayers, please go back, fast forward about a minute and a half as I share this out to all my social media outlets. I got to tell you, the feedback from last week was phenomenal. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for hollering at your boy from last week. Your feedback. Oh, my bad. Let me turn this down as I share it out. Your feedback makes a difference. Hey, Vanika, thank you. Happy, excited about tonight. Vanika, I am excited about it. I thought it was going to be a YouTube exclusive. I don't know if it is or isn't because Facebook's supposed to be working. I want to welcome in our ATBA group too. We're streaming live on ATBA Able to Be Able. So thank y'all for having the motivational teacher live on your site. Hey, Phaedra, thank you for joining us. Man, I'm so excited. Like, I gotta share this thing. I ain't done anything but talk right through it. So for all my ATBA, for that community, man, thank y'all for having me. I hope y'all find some bread here tonight that's good for your spirit and your soul, because I got to tell you, episode 102, we are going to break this. Somebody know it out there. This bread, man. We're going to break this bread. If you all would, please share this to your social media outlets as well. Type 2 or 3 names in the comment box. I would very, very much appreciate it as we're trying to grow our audience to the thousands, man. I appreciate it if you all play a role in this process. Phaedra, I see you got some stuff going on too. So please, man, you need your boy, holler at me. I'd love to be a part of what you're doing over there in the ham. Hey, Angelique. Hey, Lisa. Thank y'all for joining us. Let me share this a couple more places, and we're gonna get this show on the road. Give me about 30 more seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me how your week has been going out there. How's your week going out there, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all having a phenomenal week. All right, let me share this. 1 or 2 more people. All right, let's get to this. If they're not here tonight, if they're not here now, that's on them and not on us. They know the motivational teacher goes live every Monday. So let's get to it. Last week, episode 101 was last week. This should have been episode 102 of Awaken Your I Am. Tonight, I want to spend a little time talking about thought power. I'm going to get more into that, but I wanted to kind of debrief on last week. Last week was the power of one thought. The power of one thought can absolutely change your whole life. We talked about it in detail last week, and this week we're going to move a little farther in this conversation. And tonight, for a brief moment, episode 102, Awaken Your I Am. Tonight, I want to talk about thought power. Yeah, thought power. Tonight, it's my goal to let you know exactly how much control you have over your life. Tonight, if I'm successful, you walk out of hey, Pat, thank you for joining us. You walk out of this Motivational Monday a new version of who you're supposed to be. If I'm successful tonight, you walk out understanding that everything you want out of your physical life is one thought away. Boy, I'm gonna break bread tonight. Before I get into this Motivational Monday, I have to make a confession. That this morning, driving through the city of Atlanta, I was a victim of my past. Y'all, let me break this down. We all the Camo Nation out here. This is what we do. I was a victim of my own past. You see, when I drive with Waze. And Waze, and for some of you all who doesn't know the app Waze, Waze is real live traffic updated real time. So you could be on your way somewhere. Waze will send you on another route. And because traffic is building up or traffic is tough or whatever happens to traffic, but Waze will send you another route. So this morning I was driving, it was still dark outside. I love that app too, Vaniqua. That's my favorite one. So I was driving and it was still dark outside. You know, you got to get up early in the morning, but that's another story. It was dark outside and I was going on 285. On Interstate 285, you know, Atlanta's congested. No matter where you go, it's always congested, cars everywhere. So, and Waze kind of alerted me that there was an accident, and it was telling me that I need to go up 400. I need to get off here, go here, go here. It was telling me to go the streetway, and so I pulled up routes, and I said, okay, if I go the way Waze is sending me, which is not my normal route. My normal route is usually going 285 that I do every day. I know it like the back of my hand. And so I was prepared to go that way until to Waze rerouted me. And so being a victim of my past, I clicked to see how long would it take, how much longer would it take me if I went my normal route than the route that Waze rerouted me to, because I wanted to go the way I knew. It was just so ingrained in my mind to go the way I normally go that I was willing to spend another 40 minutes driving the way I know than going the new route that Waze suggested that would have helped me miss the traffic. Come on now. I'm going somewhere in 1 minute. And so in that moment in time where I'm in my mind contemplating spending an additional 40, no, let me say this. Let me say, investing another 40 minutes into a route that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to take. I had to sit there and it shouldn't have been a thought pattern. It should have been easy to say, okay, new experience, new way, new scenery. It should have been easy for me to go that way, but not me, because I was a victim of my past. It made me contemplate. It made me think about spending the extra 40 minutes to go the way that I don't normally go. And so at that moment, I had to sit there and I had a Selah moment. Come on, Angelique, stubborn me. I'm the motivational teacher to the masses. And even in that moment, in my moment in time, I was a victim of my own past. I was a victim of all my past successes of going up 285 with no traffic. And I could not make a different decision without being conscious in my own mind. Come on, man. I'm going somewhere now. Look like Facebook fell back off, but we're going to have a YouTube exclusive tonight. So let's get to it. So this morning, I was sitting there and I was thinking about the power of one thought. And I thought about how small and minute and how insignificant that one decision was for me to be in my comfort zone and how much I fought it. And I was like, man, we battle all the time mentally about things that matter the same way I was battling about making a decision on which way to go. Motivational teacher to the masses. Why is it like that? And tonight I'm talking about thought power, and you're gonna see how thought power is what's up, Q, is different from the power of one thought. I'm breaking bread tonight. Hey, Virginia, thank you for joining us. Come on here, Facebook, YouTube. We already in full effect. So I began to think. I said, okay, what's on the inside of me? And y'all gonna think this too deep just to be dealing with a Waze story. That one thought can change the whole direction. You better say it. And it can change how long I'm sitting in traffic, because there was a major accident on 285. And I would have eventually been there a half a day if I had gone that direction. And I would have been stalled, angry, upset, got to go to the bathroom, hungry, all because I was stubborn and did not want to change. So I sat there and it made me think about, see, our brain, oh my God, I got to break this down. See, our brain is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. I touched on it a little bit last week, but tonight I want to hit a little bit more in detail. Our brain is organized to reflect everything that you've gone through, or that you've known over your whole life. At that moment, when I'm at the crossroad of looking at Waze, at that moment, the only thought I had was all the successes for 3-4 years going 285. And my brain could not organize anything differently than my success with 285. And I'm thinking, since I've had success for 3 years, having 3 years in one day should be pretty easy. Meanwhile, all the signs and signals were saying it's time to change. But because my brain could only organize and reflect my past, it was difficult for me to make a new decision because I was living and I was perceiving information as it flowed, as it went through my mind from the past. So it was very difficult for me to make a future forward decision based on what's to come versus on what's behind me. That's how our brain, that's how we're automatically triggered. When you see old friends, it's easy to have old memories. Why is it easy to have old memories, motivational teacher, to the masses? It's easy because your brain is organized to reflect those experiences that you had in the past. But it's so much more difficult to meet a new person and say, let me see my future with this person. Why? Because we have no past to be able to, unless we give somebody else, oh, he reminds me of so now we start organizing still from the past and put whatever thought process that was on so and we put that on a new person, and then that new person even goes into our future with organized past. This is so. This morning, as I was going through it, it was hard, and this is so deep, very deep, and this is so deep because we've been. I'm gonna be frank. I'm gonna be real. We've been trained by this world system to only respond to triggers. Come on, man, ruining it before it starts. Say that again, Vaniqua. We've been trained to respond to triggers. I talked about last week, and I got this from Joe Dispenza, that thoughts are the language of the brain. I want to expand that today, and this is where thought power now begins. Now we're leaving the power of a thought, and now we're moving into thought power. So Joe Dispenza said thoughts are the language of the brain. And then secondly, he said emotions are the language of the body. And this is where we're going to start this conversation tonight. We're trained to be triggered. And that's why a lot of us, or a lot of people, we don't see the success that we want in life. It's because we're living from triggers. We're not allowing ourselves to live from our imagination. We're allowing ourselves to live from triggers. And so it's very difficult to have success when I'm living from, whether it's my emotional trauma or whether it was physical trauma. And when I'm living from that trauma, it's hard for me to create a new story about myself when everything that I see every day triggers where I've been. It's hard to create a future when everything about me was about where I've been. It's simple, but it's deep. It's simple. Get power over your thoughts. Live in your power, not your triggers. You got to that's so well said. You got to live in your power and not your triggers. So thoughts are the language of the brain. Emotions are the language of the body. So my thinking tells me how my brain is wired. My thinking tells me what neurological activity I have firing between synapses. Come on now. They say a man doesn't know his own heart. I got to break bread. Everything that I think, it alerts me to the activity that's going on in my mind, whether consciously or subconsciously. It's alerting me. I know what's going on, what kind of activity I have in my mind based on the thoughts that I think. There's no way that I can just pop out at some point in my life and do something like, oh, I didn't know that was there. It was there because you've always been thinking that. You've never acted on it. You've never acted on it, but those thoughts are real. And that's why my favorite book says that we have to take every thought captive. I have to decide whether this is a thought that I cast out or this is a thought that I build up. There's only two type of thoughts that matriculate through my mind, either the ones I cast out or the ones I build up. There are no in between. I'm breaking bread I broke bread last Monday, and I'm breaking bread this Monday. So I'm currently doing a Daniel fast, and if it wasn't for the message last week, how we're in control of our own thoughts, would allow my thoughts to take control of my own thing. Come on, Vaniqua. We gotta be conscious, and I can see, that's why I can see that you're working on something. I can see that you're working on something. You gotta take, when we say take every thought captive, like either I have to choose how to manage that thought. I have to choose whether do I allow that thought to have room in my mind, or do I cast that thought out by reiterating a new thought that builds me up? We got to choose. Choose ye this day, whether you choose life or death. How do you choose whether life or death? How do I manage my own thoughts? Thoughts are the language of the brain. Emotions are the language of the body. Emotions are the language of the body. Have you ever heard a love song or a song in general? Have you ever heard a song in general? Like I can see rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice. I remember that song. That song takes me to 1994 when we were playing basketball, because all I used to do is listen to that song before I went and played ball, even listen to some Snoop Dogg, bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo. That takes me to 1994. Why? Because have you ever heard that song and it triggered your emotions back to the place where you were? Emotions are the language of your body. Emotions are the language of your body. It's amazing that I coach multiple basketball teams, and I can look at the countenance on a kid and I can tell you where his mind is or what his thought process is in that moment based on his or her emotions. And it's funny because a lot of us, emotional intelligence, EQ, when I hire people, and I got a whole little guy, I'm a people manager for a Fortune 100 company in my secular world, and I would say this year alone, I've done at least 40 interviews this year alone. And when I'm interviewing people, I'm not necessarily looking at their intelligence or their intellectual intelligence. I look more for their emotional intelligence and how does that blend with my already currently built team. So I look at their emotions a lot of times because people make themselves sound really good on an interview, but you can tell by their emotions whether they're up for it or they're not. Emotions are the language of the body. Motivational teacher to the masses. Are you telling me that when I go out and I grab that cigarette, that it has nothing to do with my physical body other than the fact that it's responding to my brain? That's deep. Somebody, I don't know why I'm sweating right now. Somebody better take that. Motivational teacher, are you telling me that my body is a willing vessel, that my emotions lends itself to my body to think and do whatever it will choose? Come on now, I'm going somewhere right now. My emotions play a big role on how my body responds. See, thought is one thing. When you mix thought with emotions, now you get a whole nother physical behavior. That's why when it says that nothing just happens, nothing just happens. There's a thought, it's mixed with emotions, and then your body responds. Come on, man, I'm breaking bread right now. There's a thought, it's mixed with an emotion, and then your body responds. Yeah, I gotta train my body up in the way it should go. You cannot train this physical body without training your physical mind. I can run out this room right now, turn this computer off, and run a lap right now, because I cannot train this body without training my mind and training my emotions. The number one thing that I look for in a person is, can they manage conflict? If you can manage, win a sales job, I'm not worried about you being able, I can teach somebody how to sell. I can teach you how to sell. What I don't have time is to teach you how to manage your thinking and your emotions. And a lot of times we get put in situations in real life where God is looking for the David in you to stand up. But there are moments where we allow our thinking and our emotions to run and overtake the decisions that we make. Come on, man, I'm going somewhere right now. I had to let them know who I was, and they weren't going to be doing me like that. I had to let them know. That tells me right there, you have no control over your thought life. That tells me right there that your life is a ship without a rudder, that you are no longer in control of your own destiny. It's your emotions and your own thinking that controls your life, which says to me that success will not happen in massive quantities in your life. Why? Because you cannot control your thoughts and emotions. I gotta break bread. When you look at the heroes of faith, in Hebrew, it was all about the process of training them and teaching them how to manage their thought process and manage their emotions. Hey, I don't care, like the process. What did Tyler Perry learn during the process? He learned how to manage his thoughts. He learned how to control his emotions so he can have the right outcome in his body on the outside. This body is a willing participant. This morning, this body, my hands and feet and gas pedal and brake pedal and steering wheel was all willing to do exactly what I wanted to do. Whether I chose to drive out my past or drive out of my future ways, my whole body and everything was ready to be done. It was ready to do it. My body had no control over this whole situation. Vanika chiming into this conversation. I remember a nursing instructor, Mrs. Clark, telling me after a clinical experience, what I brought in that room can't be taught. Don't ever lose that. Don't ever lose that. I'm telling you, like, I hire people for a living, and I can teach you how to sell. But what I cannot teach you is the intangible of how to think and how to respond. You want to know why CEOs or CEOs of Fortune 100 companies? Hey, Jacqueline, thank you for joining us. They're CEOs because of their emotional intelligence. They run major corporations because of their emotional intelligence. There's only so far that Nene Leakes gonna get in life as long as she keeps saying to everybody what she wants to say. That the ceilings get lower and lower as you begin not to take other people's thoughts and consideration in mind when you respond out of your own body. I'm telling you right now that the great I am cannot awaken and I am. I gotta break bread. The great I am cannot fully and totally use a person that does not have control over their faculties. I gotta break bread. That's why he walked us through your armor. You gotta put on your armor. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been this way since the foundation of earth. It's been this way. The whole earth was turned upside down by Eve taking one thought that was not her original. Did God say? She took one thought that was not her original thought, took that thought, made that thought her thought, mixed it with emotions, and responded in the earth, and so did Adam. And at that point, that's when everything went haywire. Why? Because of one thought that was not her original thought. One thought that was not Adam's original thought. Hath God not said? It was a thought that led to the demise of man from the foundation of the earth. It was one thought that was not their original one. Mix it with emotion, and now you got Adam and Eve walking around the cool of the garden with fig leaves. Why? They're hiding the most productive parts of themselves. Why? Because they walked away from what was truth. I'm breaking bread right now. And I know motivational teacher. I know motivational teacher. You don't know my story, motivational teacher. You don't know what I've been through, motivational teacher. You don't know how I had to struggle, I had to fight, I had to crawl to pay my way. You don't know what it took me to get to where I am today. I get it. Life is a fight. I get it. We're either going in a storm, we're in a storm, we're coming out of storm. Life is a fight. Life is a fight, but the moment you start gaining the right thinking about your fight, I'm okay with a good fight. I understand that you cannot conquer land without a good fight. I understand that I cannot get my family from glory to glory without a fight. I understand that the whole tagline of my motivational speaking is we're waging war on mediocrity. There's no massive success without somebody willing to take on a fight. And I'm not talking about an external fight. I'm talking about the internal one. Oh my God, I'm breaking bread right now. We're all so ready to fight physically. We're all so ready to fight externally. I'll take on 10 men for you. Oh, I'll pick up and cut his ear off from you, boy. You're going to deny me 3 times before the cock crow because you love fighting externally, but the fight on the inside is the one you will not fight. Boy, that was Peter. Upon this rock I'll build this church. Was so ready to fight externally, but when it came down to mix one thought with one emotion to say, yeah, I'm his, he could not do it. Why? Because he missed the internal fight. And for a lot of us, our success has nothing to do with I'm black, I'm white, I'm yellow, I'm Asian, I'm Mexican, I'm fat, I'm skinny, I'm swole, I got short hair, I got long hair, I'm tall, I'm short. Our success has very little to do with any of those external factors. Ethnicity, religion has very little to do with that. It has more to do with the fight between our ears for me to control my own thinking. If you win the fight to control your thinking, all these other things will be added to you. Listen, thought power. This gonna make sense when I get to the end because I'm gonna turn this baby out. If you on here, you might want to hang on here till I get done because I'm gonna tell you what's in thought power. But right now, let me set this thing up. Your thinking, emotions, are the language of the body. Your body, come on, Kaniki, your body is a willing participant to whatever you think. If I change my thinking, I change what I physically do. But this is not new. It seems like it's new to us because we've been told that we got to struggle and strain to see our way home. We've been controlled, like even slavery. Even slavery was an attempt to control your mind. Even having an employee attitude is an attempt to control your mind. That's all. Even the commercials or the news that you watch, it is an attempt to control your thinking. If I control your thinking, I control your action. I just broke bread. If I control your thinking, I control your emotions. If I mix your thinking with your emotions, I control your actions. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. Motivational teacher, why are you telling me this? Because I'm a little kid from Waverly, Alabama. I had so many, it was red clay. And my dad in and out of prison. We lived in a 3-bedroom. I'm a kid from Waverly, Alabama. I'm telling you, these things were hidden from me for so long. And when I start learning that I can change my life by changing what I perceive my life is, that what I do internally is just manifested externally when I mix emotion and thought. And then in a minute, we're going to add a little work to it. And then I can change my children's past forever. That's why the most important thing that you could do for your offspring is to feed their I am. You are great. This one mistake will never define. I don't care what mistake you make. This one mistake don't define. You're more than the decision you made right now. Son, you got to get better thinking. The moment you get better thinking, you can get whatever you want out of this life. We got to get better thinking. Come on, I just broke bread. Emotions are the language of the body. This stuff ain't brand new. This stuff is not new. And y'all know, man, I don't do a lot of scripture on my Motivational Mondays, but I had to go here. Romans chapter 7. It says, and then I'm going to get into some good stuff. It said, I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. But check this out. My boy who wrote it, Paul, he said, but I see another law in my members warring against the law of my mind. This is not brand new. He said, I gotta break bread. He said, let me read it again. He said, but I see another law in my members, like in my fingers, my members, like this body. He said, yeah, come on, Kanika, thank you. He said, in my body, I see something warred against the law of my mind. And then he said, and bringing me into captivity. He said that which is warring in my mind works in my body. This is nothing new. He's been trying to teach us this from the foundation of the earth. He said that when I want to do good, evil is present. Why? Because there's two wars going on right now internally in my mind all at the same time. And he said, whatever process I lend my members to yield my results in my life. I just broke bread. I want to change my life. I want to quit smoking. I want to lose weight. I want to make more money. I want a husband that loves me. I want a wife that loves me. I want better children. I want better relationship with my family members. Then what? Nothing just somebody put that. Come on, Kanika. When I want to do good, evil it's right there. It's right there. It's what I lend my members to that tends to give my level of success. Let me tell you, put this in the text box. Come on, y'all, go to the text box. Nothing just happens. Nothing just happens. Listen to your boy. Nothing just happens. If you continue to have a life that is lived in autopilot, nothing will ever happen. I took one note today. I wrote it down. 95% of who we are by the age of 35 is a set of beliefs. I'm going to get there in a minute. 95% of who we are by the age of 35, they say, is a set of habituation, is what we habitually do. By the age of 35, this is what research said about normal mere humans. Normal mere humans are pretty much complete in who they are by the age of 35. Now, that should make some of us cry. That should make some of us feel depressed because some of us are a lot older than 35. 95% of humans have no new, you know what that says to me? Break it down, motivational teacher. 95% of humans over the age of 35 are not creating any new thoughts. 95% of the people over 35 are not creating any new emotions. 95% of the people over the age of 35 are not creating any new behaviors. They're alive, but they're dead. I just broke bread. They are alive, but they're waiting to be buried at 65 because there's not much more productivity that's coming from their life. Because at 35, they've decided to be finite. Just wait. I'm just waiting for the upward swing low, sweet chariot come to carry me home because I burnt out at 35 with my thinking. I burnt out at 35 with my fighting for something more. I burnt out at 35 that says that I cannot leave a heritage for my children's children. I'm burnt out at 35. When are you gonna swing low, sweet chariot? 95% of humans are done or wiped out. I'm telling you, it's easy for you to make it to the top 5% in this world because 95% are not even competing. Look around at your family members. Look around on your job. Look around at your church. 95% of the people come on, Angelique, are being trained by this world, and they've tapped out, ding, 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 by the age of 35. And I'm telling you, there's no competition for you in this earth. None. There is none. There's no competition. Whatever you want to do in this earth, all you have to do is start training your mind. I'm going to get more into thought power, but all of this is setting it up that you are not finite. You got two wars going on now. You got two wars. You have an internal war going on. There's a war. There's another law in your members warring against the law of your mind. You got a war going on. But you got to choose to wage war every day. 95% are. Yep. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all. That's why, man, I know. Stay the course. Stay the course. That's why I don't get concerned about how many eyes I have tonight. I don't get concerned about some of the messages that I get about telling me, how they believe, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, I don't get concerned about that because I know if I stay the course, it's just me and 5% of the people trying to get here. Come on, Kanika, the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. We got to choose every day to ignite thought power. Come on, man. We got to choose every day to ignite thought power. Now, thought power is not something that subconsciously happens. I started with the story about me on 285 this morning. I was going to be in traffic a half a day if I had to continue to go down my natural habit. If I had to continue to do what I was comfortable doing, I was going to be in traffic for a half a day. And it took some negotiation. I got to tell you that it was a war in my members. It took some negotiation for me to ignite my thought power to go a different direction and get there in 4 hours quicker. And I'm sitting here contemplating, should I just be in traffic? Because it felt normal to me. And see, the moment we give up thought power is the moment we become the 95%. The moment we start seeing ourselves as finite is the moment where we give up all these things. See, I gotta break bread. We have to start looking at our thoughts as seeds. We know that if I were to go plant a garden, and my neighbor just planted some watermelon. I can go and be intentional about planting watermelon and be intentional about planting beans and peas in my garden. But we know that weeds always grow faster than seeds. That's why we got two wars going on in my members. And the ground doesn't care what you put in. You can put nightshade in that ground. You can put watermelon in that ground. That ground will give you whatever you put in it in abundance. Whatever you put in that ground, it will give you that seed back in abundance. We know weeds grow faster than seeds. And that's why that's that internal battle going on. But I'm challenging you to take your thought power back. The beginning of success in the Awaken I Am is me taking my thought power back. Your thoughts are seeds. Seeds have to be nurtured. Thought power. Just as Eve received one thought and it turned the world upside down, it only takes one thought for you to turn your world right side up. It only takes one thought, and that's why the world knows that if I can limit what you think, if I can limit what you think, I now take your creative ability and I make you work for me. And what you can be making $1 million for yourself doing, somebody else is paying you $80,000 to do the same thing for themselves. Why? Because I've taken your ability to have thought power. Come on, man, I'm breaking bread right now. I own the Awaken I Am is so important because the Awaken I Am gives you the ability to be connected with the great I Am who now awakens your thought process. When he met Abram, he said one thing to Abram: I will make you the father of many nations. You got to leave. He gave Abram one thought. Abram went from Abram to Abraham based on one thought. I will make you father of many nations. It was one thought that turned Abram to Abraham. It was one thought that turned Sarah to Sarah. It was one thought. The moment you start awakening your thought process is when you're aligned with the great I Am and what he wants to do through your life. I'm telling you, it's coming through your own thinking. He met Peter. He said, he gave Peter one thought: I'm going to make you a fisher of men. I'm going to make you a fisher of men. He gave me one thought: you the motivational teacher to the masses. You the motivational teacher to the masses. If you got one eye, you the motivational teacher to the masses. If you got 100,001 eye, it doesn't change who you are. Peter, I'm going to make you fisher of men. Let me prove to you, Peter. Right now, you're not catching fish. Cast it on the other side. It was one thought. All it was is one thought. It was one thought that made David become king. It was one thought that made Tyler Perry go from being a little afraid kid living under the porch of his parents' house as his mom was being beaten to being the mogul that he is today. It was one thought, I got TPS on the inside of me. It was one thought that took Oprah Winfrey from being some small, insecure, not fit for TV to being the mogul. Walt Disney, they turned down his ideas over and over and over again, but he believed so much in his one thought. How many thoughts have you given up because they said it wasn't the right thought? They told you you were average. How many thoughts have you given up? What processes have you turned off because, well, it must not be for me? Stuff like that don't happen for people like me. And see, the world has trained you. Hey, hath God not said? When you hear those, you should automatically go back to the garden and say, who's trying? Oh my God. Ooh, this is good. When you hear you're trying to rob me of my wealthy place. You're trying to rob me of my heaven. You think you can do that? You're trying to rob me of my heaven on earth. And you are a thief and a robber will not come in my house. How many one thoughts have you dropped? How many seeds have you dropped on stony ground because you listen to the naysayers? How many seeds have you dropped on the ground because you're listening to people that has thinking themselves and they transfer that same thinking to you? You better get away from around them folks. You better get around some folks that say, man, let me add one thought to your thought, and where two of us touch and agree, we'll turn this world upside down. I got to get around some people that when I say, I was talking about this on Bridge of the Nations 2 weeks ago, I need to get around more people when I give them my fire, what's on the inside of me, just like Caleb and Joshua. They said, we be more than able. I need some folks that say we be more than able. Come on, man. I need some folk around me that say, man, you need some help taking that mountain? I got you, dog. I need some folk around me that when I tell them my dream, they say, man, is that big enough? You need to go bigger, Ant. You need some folk around you that know how to fight, that understand the power of one thought. Microsoft was one thought. It was one thought. A lot of work, but one thought. It was one doggone thought. Never allow this world to rob you of your thought power. Never allow this world to rob you of your thought power. Thoughts are the language of the brain. Emotions are the language of the body. I need for you to believe so much so in your thought that it's radiated through your body. It's radiated through your emotions. I need you to see that my thought is so clear, concise, and compelling to me that it runs, that it determines what decisions I make in my life. The challenge with so many people is they have no focus because they lack clarity about their one thought. They don't know what thought to chase. Your thoughts are seeds. You have thought power. They don't know what thought to chase. And I'm telling you to be a thought chaser. Don't allow this world to rob you of your heaven on earth. 95% of the people have taken themselves by the age of 35, research says, out of the game. They quit. I'm done. I'm finite. And we go tell my thoughts, my dreams, my imagination to those 95% so they can tell me how I need to be finite and how I need to tap out. This world ain't meant for people that look like me and you. They trying to keep us from getting everywhere we supposed to be. This ain't meant for people like us. It ain't meant for people like you because I see your thought power. As long as you believe it ain't meant for you, guess what? It'll never be meant for you. The moment you begin to turn on thought power and believe that somebody said it earlier, Angelique said it earlier, the artist said it earlier, we are more than conquerors. Thought power turns up in that area. You got thought power. If you can think it, if you can think, come on, man, I'm going somewhere. If you have the thought power, it is the genesis of all revelation. It is the genesis of all manifestation in your life. Thought power. I want to be a millionaire. Well, it's just not going to happen. You're not going to wake up one day and Ed McMahon going to be knocking on your door and he's going to come. I want to give you $25,000 a month for the rest of your life. It's not going to happen. If you want to be a millionaire, I say start educating yourself on money, on business, on what it takes to be a millionaire. And understand, I said it yesterday on Bridging the Nations, understand you only have one source, the great I am, and everything else around you is a resource. I'm not dependent on a resource for my manifestation on this earth. I'm connected to a source. My source can use multiple resources, but in order to even use multiple resources, I first have to have a thought to ignite the use of the resource. I just broke bread. You have thought power. As long as your head is in the game, oh, I mean that literally. As long as your head is in the game, there's no way you can ever be defeated. As long as your head is in the game, there's no way you can ever lose this fight. As long as your head is in the game, you got thought power. They can put you down in a prison and you'll come back out. You'll come back out and be second in control of the vice president of the whole world. As long as you got thought power, they can put you in a furnace and turn the fire up 10 times hotter and you'll come out not even with the smell of smoke. Why? Because I got thought power. I got thought power. My belief in the great I am in me is so strong that what I see is not more real than what I think. Oh my God, I just broke bread. My confidence is so high in the great I am working through me that my thinking is much higher than what I see in this earth. Man, that is a bread breaking moment if I've ever broken bread. These physical eyes. Let me get back to my 95%. See, the 95% that's tapped out by the age of 35, they believe what these natural eyes see. They believe that, oh my God, I'm 35 and my life is over and I'm in $200,000 in debt and I got the worst job at the office and my business sucks and I'm just a person that ain't got much going on. 95% of the people fall in that category. And as long as their thought process is that, they'll never change. But the moment even for that 95%, the moment they start igniting their thought process back to their life is the moment they begin to turn their life upside down. I'm challenging you right now to not see your situation as finite. Do not see your situation as finite. That situation is subject to change. It is subject to change. The moment you start invoking your thought process back into in your life, the moment you start engaging your mind back into your life is the moment where you start believing, you start changing your state of being. And man, like let me break bread. Where you are right now is a state of being. States of being change. I know right now you're in a 1-bedroom apartment. That's a state of being. It changed. I know right now you don't have 2 nickels to rub together. It is a state of being. What do you mean, motivational teacher? This state of being represents my state of being from 5-10 years ago. This is my manifestation. It represents my state of being. But guess what? I got thought power. My state of being the next 5 or 10 years will not be the same as it was this 5 or 10 years. So my life will continue. I'm on a continuous improvement to greatness. I'm not concerned about being great today. I'm concerned about being better today than I was yesterday. Greatness will come over time, ladies and gentlemen. Your moment, your time in this life is right now. Your moment and your time is right now. Your moment and your time is right now. I want you to go in your life and I want you to evoke executive privilege over your own life. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you're single. I want you to go look in the mirror and you're going to invoke executive privilege over my own life. Come on, we get in the mirror with me. I tear down every word that's been spoken over my life that's contrary to what the great I am has said about me. I tear each one of those words down. I take every one of those thoughts captive. I take every emotion that I believed about myself captive right now. I take it and I put it under the blood of Almighty Jesus Christ God. I take it captive right now. I'm no longer that person. I'm no longer that thought. I'm no longer that emotion. I take it captive and I take control. I evoke executive privilege over my own life. The great I am, God and I are the majority. Right now, I take control of my own thought processes. I know right now it is not going to be easy to take control. I know there are going to be moments and times in life where, oh, motivational teacher is harder than I think. Yeah, there are going to be those moments, but understand, I got thought power. I'm still in the game past 35. I'm not tapping out. I'm a 5%er. I'm a 5%er. I am not average. I make that, man, I make that so, I say that so, man, I was not born to be average. When I see average results in my life, I make that comment I was not born to be average. There are moments in time where your state of being will try to trick you to believe that you're average or that you're what you're not. There are times where your state of being, where it doesn't go exactly, or you don't pass the exam the first time, or you didn't get the promotion, or when you went on your first venture, it did not go as you thought it was. There are times where your state of being will deceive you. And in those moments, I love making the confession that I was not born to be average. It reminds my thinking, my thought process is that what I see today is not real, because it does not reflect what I know about the great I am, awakening my I am. It's a mindset. It's a state of being. In him I live, I move, and I have my being. Like, you cannot, I don't care. Come famine. Look, like my boy said, I've had a lot, I've had a little. And they said, I had plenty to eat, I had little to eat. In all those things, I'm content, because those things do not change my state of being. I just broke bread. Emotions are the language of the body. Sometimes, when I say we have to pay attention to what I'm thinking and how I feel at each juncture of my life, whether I'm making decisions or whether I'm moving into a different facet, a different phase of my life, we have to be very in tune. One thing I love about being a former athlete is that I really know how my body feels. Like, I know what ache and pain is what. I know each pain, I know each feeling of pain, or each emotion that I have is triggered from something. And if I don't begin to deal with that root, that pain is eventually, it's almost like a weed. If I plant a weed and a seed, if we plant them at the same time, weeds always grow faster than seeds. Sometimes that weed can choke the life out of the seed. And that's why you have to be in tune. See, some people tell you, well, that feeling ain't real. If you feeling it, it's coming from the foundation of somewhere. And that's a signal that there's some thoughts that are there that maybe shouldn't be there. And I have to go deal with the root of what that is in order for me to get past and beyond it, because there's so many people with this fake happiness. I got Instagram, I got Insta happiness, I got Facebook happiness, but my life behind the scene is a wreck. I don't want you to be a rumbling wreck behind the scene and out front, oh, I got it all together. I want you to start dealing with those thoughts that are contrary to what you believe. You have, this whole message came from this morning where I'm like, Anthony, why is it hard for you to make this decision? You're a motivational teacher. You talk about change and being uncomfortable. Something as simple as you going, making a right where you're supposed to make a left. It's difficult for you. See, that triggered something on the inside of me that said, Ant, you got more work to do. You got to keep making confessions. You got to keep working toward being out your comfort zone. And see, I got to deal. And just like me, you got to deal with those things. Lest one bad apple spoil a whole bunch if you don't start dealing with those emotions and start being real about what's going on the inside of you. The manifestation of Peter cutting that ear off was because he was trying to hide his true emotion, that he was afraid and he didn't want to be vulnerable as he was on the inside. So he appeared to be strong on the outside. So the strength that he displayed externally was a cover up of the insecurity that he felt internally. And we can't be like Peter, that I'm trying to be tough externally to hide what I lack internally, because we know that it's thought power. That if I think it, eventually it will manifest on the outside. You will betray me 3 times before the cock crow, boy. You cut this dude ear off, and you gonna betray me 3 times. I done built my whole the cornerstone on what you just said, and you gonna deny me 3 times before the cock crow. I'm telling you right now, Peter had a war going on just like you. And that's why when Peter got ready to die, he said, man, hang me upside down. I'm not worthy to die like my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. What happened? Peter went through the process. After Peter went through the process, he became the real thing. Don't worry about the ups and downs, the ebb and flows that you have in your life. You're not going to always get it right. It's not going to always seem right. You're going to mess up sometimes more than you get it right. But just know that's not who you are. That's a state of being for this moment in life. Don't ever confuse your mess up as a state of being. I missed the mark. Say it just like that, man. I missed the mark. I made a mistake. All right, that's just one occurrence. I got to get back on track. What a lot of people do, we settle into condemnation and just say, man, like, oh, this is who I am. I can't get it right. No, you missed the mark. And it's okay to miss the mark. We all miss the mark. We all miss the mark. It's okay. You ain't gonna get it all perfect the first time. It's a process. I know I cut the dude's ear off and I denied him, but you still the rock. Boy, I just broke bread right there. You still the rock. You still the cornerstone or the foundation of what I'm building. You're still the rock. Don't let a state of being change who you truly are. That's just one moment, snapshot in time where you didn't get it right. It's okay. I'm not gonna wrap all my emotions in what I missed. I'm not gonna wrap it, because we've all missed it. If they tell you they hadn't missed it, they lying to you. If they tell you they got a perfect marriage, they lying to you. If they tell you they got perfect kids, they lying to you. If they tell you they got this all together, they lying to you. And the truth ain't in them. If they lying to you, they're 95%. They done gave up on life. And I'm telling you right now, don't allow that one decision to define you. You're bigger than that. You're bigger than that. Don't allow that to define you. Get your behind back on track. Greatness still awaits you on the other side of the process. You have thought power. As long as your head is in the game, you can never be defeated. I just broke bread. You got thought power. Yeah, I ain't say you have. I went back to Locha Poker on y'all. You got thought power. Own it. Like my boy would say, own your moment. Own the fact that greatness is waiting for you on the other side of your process. Man, the life that you desire is right on the other side of your thought process. And I believe that's why he said, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what I got for you. Your imagination is the key. What do you mean, motivational teacher to the masses? I'm going to get more into this. We're going to talk about attitude next week. We're going to talk about attitude next week, because your thoughts and your emotions determines your attitude. Your thoughts and your emotions determine your attitude. We're going to build this thing up every week until, man, we are an unstoppable force. I'm telling you right now that all this stuff, the Awaken, man, I'm telling you, when I got the Awaken I Am, he gave me something on that one. Your whole life revolves around your I am. And if your I am is not rooted in the thought process of the great I am awakens my I am, then, man, we're 95%ers, mean that we've tapped out of the game of life. But I know if you watching the motivational teacher to the masses, you automatically are 5%ers. 95%ers, let's sit here and they listen to the first 3-4 words and they flip right on past here. Why? Because we own the facts that greatness is on the other side, man. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. Y'all have been phenomenal. Great comments. You all chime into this conversation, and y'all actually elevate this conversation with your comments and with your thoughts. I'm going to stop saying with comments. You elevate this conversation with your thoughts. Your thoughts make this what it is. And man, we're going to look back in 5 or 10 years, and we're going to still be doing, I'm still going to be doing the same stuff on a higher level, and you're going to be the DON. What's up, Big Hunk? What's up, Coach T? What's up, Big Cuz? You're going to be the DON. You're going to be the artist. You're going to be the hair replacement specialist. I'm going to be the motivation. We're going to look back over this, and we're going to say, man, remember the process. And we can laugh. And eventually we're going to do Awaken Your I Am, a seminar. And we can come together and we can laugh and joke about some of the things that we went through along this process to greatness. Like, we're going to laugh. Like, I made a deal, the deal didn't work, or I wanted to go sell this paint for X amount of dollars, and the seller reneged, and I applied for this job, and they told me no. I always knew I was more than that job, and look what the great I Am did instead. This is going to be a conversation one day, and we're going to all sit back and say, man, it was good for me that I was afflicted. It was good for me to have to go through this process. And we need a loving community that don't judge you based on your actions, but judge you based on your thoughts, because sometimes our actions don't line up, and sometimes the process won't line up, and we can't judge one another based on what we missed. We got to see it through the lens of the great I Am and say, man, I know you the smallest of your household, David. I know you ruddy and you redhead, but boy, you're going to be anointed king one day. You the last of your household, but you're going to be king. So don't despise small beginnings. Process is a great thing. I love it, Q. Man, y'all have been phenomenal. I got a whole nother Motivational Monday on the inside of me right now. Man, I'm telling you, fall in love with the process. This is episode 102 of Awaken Your I Am. You have thought power. Y'all have been phenomenal. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. If you have not, please go subscribe to my YouTube page, Williams Inspires. If you have not, Facebook is Williams Inspires. And until next time, I am challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. Your boy is out.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage